Dr. Lisa here, the podcasting beast from the East with the Professor John Gotti, the King of Anji, the Troll Master, the Data Analyzer, the Conqueror of his own fate. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Terminator, Professor Omega, the Cleaner. But guess what, Johnny? I'm back. In the great state of Texas. That's right. We're recording live from Prof Studios.
I mean, I don't know if it's a studio, but it is all right.
From Prof Studios.
Best podcasting machine, least hype machine. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the wise man of your reigning, defending, undisputed podcasting champion and the reigning, defending world heavyweight champion of the world, our tribal chief, the head of the table, the Sultan of Squat, the newly dubbed Pied Piper of podcasting, Los Tranquilo. Doc Lisa. Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I made it.
Yeah, you feel a little jet lag there?
No, I feel great, actually.
No,
I feel great. I feel fantastic. Wonderful.
There he say, awesome.
Yes, awesome. Like the return of one Klay Thompson.
Yeah, the highly anticipated return. I mean, there were tears shed. Many of his teammates actually wore his jersey heading to the arena yesterday too, which is pretty nice. I'm really happy to see Klay Thompson get back to playing the sport of basketball. He was definitely missed. I mean, honestly, you know, it's amazing to know that it's been 2.5 years since we last seen him, and that was on the finals. Which, I mean, you know, shout outs to the Raptors for winning that final. But when the fans were cheering when he got hurt, that was real bush league. It really was. They needed to get better with that, and I think they quickly understood that. But I'm happy that he's back. Doc, he played 20 solid minutes. How many points did he get, bro?
17 points. Yeah, they actually let him rip, man. 7 for 18, 3 for 8. They let him shoot that ball yesterday. I just looking at it. I'm still trying to figure out what the bleep happened with Draymond Green.
What?
He didn't play. He went in just to get a quick foul. And actually, it's funny because
he probably did that to get Klay into the game. I don't know if Klay started or did he start?
I'm not sure.
He might have started then.
But
maybe Draymond got hurt. I don't know.
It's possible. Somebody actually won $20,000 off of this.
That I'm not surprised.
Yeah, somebody won $20,000 because they bet that Draymond would get under points, under rebounds, and under assists. And when he fouled and left the game, they won $20,000. So that was actually pretty funny. But yeah, Klay, I'm glad he got a chance to. I'm glad Klay got a chance to come back, and yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, that was the one thing that was kind of weird, the Draymond situation. But that's neither here nor there, boyo.
Neither here nor there.
Had a great final week 18 of the NFL.
It looks like
season.
Draymond Green got hurt.
That was weird.
Left tightness.
Oh, he wanted to be on the floor. That's cool.
So he basically pulled a Willis Reed.
That's cool, I guess. But we had NFL news.
The finale of the regular season, and today, folks, is the infamously called Black Monday. Unfortunately, we had some movers and a lot of shake. Well, a huge shaker that we'll talk about. But Doc,
let's go over the positives first. Let's go over the playoff schedule. The playoff picture finally in, how would you say, set. The table is set. There's no more.
There's no more games.
Yes, this is it.
This is it.
So the Titans and the Packers both get the number 1 seed, the byes. They've clinched it, while everybody else has to fight hard. We had a tough game last night between the Raiders and the Chargers.
No Chargers, no.
Oh, the tie was on. The drama was there. The Steelers' cheeks all clenched.
Yeah,
all night long.
I'm going to let that one go because we had people who actually use the term cheeks clenching.
I mean, you know where they got that from, though. This guy right here.
They did.
But we're all set 1 through 7 here. So on the AFC, you got the Chiefs. We'll be playing the Steelers, the Bills versus Patriots, and the Bengals versus the Raiders. Should be some really, really solid games. I'm really looking forward to that on the AFC. In the NFC, Packers obviously get the bye. Bucks will be playing the Eagles, moving up to number 2 after not only beating the Panthers, but the Rams losing their last game to the 49ers.
Yes. And the Rams who also ended up winning the NFC West with a loss too.
Which was interesting, and I think I asked that, but I was so, kind of curious and thrown off by that. But the Cowboys move up to number 3, which is, interesting. So the Bucks play the Eagles, Cowboys play the 49ers, and the Rams play the Cardinals. It's going to be some really, really good games. Really, really interesting matchups. Obviously, each team, I think in both conferences.
In both conferences, there are upset potentials.
But there's a lot of rivalry in some of the games.
We got an AFC East and NFC West.
Right. Plus, you think about the historic Cowboys versus 49ers.
I mean, they've already started with that.
Yeah.
It's going to be all week with this stuff.
So that's going to be good. And I mean, I'm looking forward to see what the Steelers can do. I know Steeler Nation out there, they think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Steelers winning Super Bowl.
So we'll see what happens. But I guess, Johnny, we should look at Black Monday.
Yikes.
The major shocker of the morning. I've already talked to one of the only Dolphin fans that I know, one of my athletes. Brian Flores out as the Miami Dolphins head coach. Probably one of the only coaches, I would say, the only former Patriots coach to have a winning record versus Bill Belichick at 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
He actually turned that franchise around from what they were doing previously. This one comes as a shocker. 3 years, Brian Flores is out. I'm not sure what direction it is that they felt they needed to go in. They've already ruled out.
They found out a coach that they wanted. That's literally the only reason why they did that.
But I don't understand who could it be? It has to be somebody huge.
They kind of try to downplay the Harbaugh news. I think it's Harbaugh.
Well, this reminds me because you got me those Nick Saban books, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this reminds me
of when Nick Saban left.
Yes, like this gives me, because this would be, historic. Like depending on who they bring in, unless they're saying they're bringing Nick Saban back, then nothing else is going to be good. Like I can't see any candidates out there unless they're getting somebody amazing. Like unless Sean Payton is leaving the Saints, or the Dolphins are bringing in somebody unexpected or huge like Tony Romo or somebody.
I don't know. Not yet.
Okay.
I mean, we kind of had that discussion about, people not just getting just composed straight into a head coaching gig.
We did.
So,
but I can't see anybody coming in that, unless it's like oh God, it better not be Jeff Fisher or like Marvin Lewis or somebody.
No.
I will literally.
It could be Bill O'Brien.
No,
he's been out there.
But that's Bill O'Brien is doing a great job at Alabama. I mean, I'll give him credit.
Really?
Yeah, I'll give him credit. I mean, it's easy when you got the best talent coming in.
Okay, I'm like, I don't know if it's him. Like,
I don't know either.
I don't know if I'm gonna give him all the credit there.
I don't know either. But Brian Flores,
because I feel like that's how he got the Texans job in the first place.
Yeah, but the Texans job made sense. I mean, he took over for Josh McDaniels those 2 years. It made sense, but this doesn't make any sense. I think this might have set the Dolphins back. I don't know who they have in mind, but
we're gonna have to wait and see and find out.
Yeah, but Brian Flores obviously becomes one of the better coaching, head coaching candidates out there.
Yeah, and I would say he's top of on a lot of teams' lists right now.
And you still have the possibility of the Raiders not, keeping their head coach, right? You still have the Jaguars making that decision. You still have a couple of jobs out there that are up in the air. And I said the Raiders could use a nice young head coach, energetic.
Yep.
But I think you have to give that interim coach an opportunity because he's really leading the troops despite everything.
I feel like if he can at least get them past wild card weekend, he might stay. Because it'd be really stupid if they, get past wild card and lose in the second round, and then they're like, like that'd be stupid.
Yeah, but some other expected news.
I was 3 for 3, by the way.
Yeah, Chicago Bears obviously fired Matt Nagy,
yeah,
but they also let Ryan Pace go. Pace, I think, buried himself with the trading up for Mitchell Trubisky.
He also paid $15 million to Mike Glennon too.
He did. He did trade for Khalil Mack, right? But like I said,
but I feel like that was more of a fire sale for the Raiders. I don't know if it was more him than.
And I mean, and honestly, I feel like with Mr. Trubisky, I think the only reason he gets flack is because of the picks the other quarterbacks that were in the draft, of course. Mm-hmm. And I can't even say other quarterbacks, other players. Mr. Trubisky was taken ahead of Solomon Thomas, Leonard Fournette, Corey Davis, Jamal Adams, Christian McCaffrey. But when you think about the other quarterbacks, obviously Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson. It was just a whirlwind of things. Actually, not Lamar Jackson. I think it was just Patrick Mahomes. I don't think Lamar Jackson was in this draft, actually. No, he was not.
No.
But
not that year.
Watson, Mahomes, a lot of these players went on to be really good players.
Yep.
And Trubisky has not. Myles Garrett, obviously, is stud. When we look at some of the other players in the top 10, with the exception, in my opinion, of Jamal Adams, he's just been okay.
Yikes.
But we watched Mike Williams have a great game yesterday. But I think
Marshawn Lattimore, who's a stud as well.
Exactly. But I think Ryan Pace, his tenure is tied to that of Trubisky.
And again, like we all have the benefit of hindsight.
Right.
We've seen some, crackpot draft picks. People are like, man, this guy is insane. What is he talking about?
Yeah.
He should get fired. And all of a sudden, that draft pick helped him win the Super Bowl. Man, this guy's a genius.
Yeah. And Matt Nagy, and I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. He was Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator, right? And obviously the Chiefs, they had Alex Smith. They had, some really, really good things going. So it was a little easier for them to progress forward. Obviously, him being the offensive coordinator, you would think, hey, we bring this guy over, we'll see what happens. But I think reading the Michael Lombardi book that you got me and him talking about, those great 49er teams that were doing the West Coast offense, he was saying it wasn't just the offense that, Shula was putting in. Not Shula. No, it wasn't Shula.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it? Dang it, I just drew a blank. Shula was the first thing that came to mind. Let's go with Chris! Let's see. Why am I having a hard time? Chris, I need that now. Come on, Chris. You can do this.
That's Alex. You're 35. I'm not going to lie.
Why are we not finding the information?
Bill
freaking Walsh. The thing about it was that a lot of people were trying to recreate Bill Walsh's system, just like they try to recreate Bill Belichick's system.
Yep.
A lot of people were trying to recreate Walsh, but they couldn't because it wasn't just a matter of bringing in somebody and say, hey, we're going to take this person. They're going to come in and they're going to install the whole West Coast offense, and we're going to be successful. So it's like for them, the Bears did see some success. The Bears saw a lot of success.
Yeah.
It's just.
I mean, they made playoffs.
Yeah, it's just Trubisky wasn't the answer at the time. They went with.
I mean, it also doesn't help too that he never had an offensive line.
Well, we could definitely talk about that as well. A lot of teams haven't had offensive lines. I heard the Tony Romo talking about the Panthers quarterback now not having an offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Cam, struggling to have an offensive line for years.
But Doc, I thought he was back. He's back.
He's gone. That boy is gone. Both quarterbacks might be gone. Darnold and Cam could be out.
So Darnold took a shot.
Well, that's what Tony was saying. Like he's never had an offensive line, neither the Jets nor in Carolina.
Nope.
But people are expecting him to just go out there and do it. And we talked about it last night with Herbert. Herbert was under fire all night long.
Yeah, he only had 4 clean pockets the whole night.
Yeah, but Nagy, I understand. I mean, a lot of people are gonna.
It needed to happen.
A lot of people are gonna remember the double doink, of course.
Cody Parkey.
Which honestly, he probably could have gotten fired in 2019.
Which is when I first said that.
But I think the double doink gave him another year or two. And I think that Ryan Pace got fired because he kept Nagy on for 2 years too long. But they had.
We'll have to see what they do next because it's going to be very, very important. They got a young quarterback.
Yeah.
And hopefully they don't screw him up too.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The Bears, they have a pretty solid roster. Obviously, me and you talked off the stream about Lovie Smith, and the job that he did all those years.
He didn't deserve to be fired on that. I understood why you said that, but again,
I could see the Bears saying, forget this, let's bring in Brian Flores, because they went offensive coach, right? Bringing a defensive coach, I think he would be perfect for the Bears.
I wouldn't hate him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it either. He'd be perfect for the Bears.
And he would be perfect for this next team that we're about to talk about.
I don't know about this one. See, Mike Zimmer and the Minnesota Vikings part ways. And I think Mike Zimmer was an offense coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, previously. But we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, he was a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think the Vikings are going to go offense. But Vikings fire head coach Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman.
Mike Zimmer needed to get fired.
They've just been so
inconsistent
and pedestrian. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kirk Cousins is gone as well. But the one thing about
the worst part is it's not even him. That's the problem. It's not even Kirk. I know people want to say it's him, but it's not even him.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say here, obviously you have, Mike Zimmer's been there through the Teddy Bridgewater injury, in which technically, he was given a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he went through the end of the Adrian Peterson tenure. But the defense was always pretty stout. That's one thing I'll give Mike Zimmer. His defense was pretty good. There was just a lot of offensive inconsistency. So I expect that they'll go ahead and bring in
they weren't really aggressive in the play calling, which is more the issue.
I think it got better toward the end, obviously, with the big step forward of Justin Jefferson.
Of course.
But I mean, Kirk Cousins still has $35 million.
I think that's the only reason why they would move on from him is to get that cap relief.
That cap relief, because they can go out and get. Again, you can go out and get a quarterback, not for this, but I don't know what they're going to do. It's interesting. As far as the GM, I think this is the same thing. Like with the Bears, they're tied together. He kept Zimmer on. The owner probably said, "Listen, you are tied to this man. There's nothing else really we could do here. You've been here for years. This is your guy. I don't really like him. You like him. So his success, your success rides on his success." And obviously Zimmer didn't really do that. I mean, obviously he turned the defense around. They've made strides, but at this particular time, the Vikings.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who they want for the next head coach. I don't know. I don't know yet. Like I said, I could probably see Flores getting in there just to, add a little spark, but I don't know yet.
I think
the jury's out for that.
Yeah, if I'm the Bears, I'm bringing in Flores immediately. I know the Jaguars are, also looking for a coach. I don't think if I'm Flores, I wouldn't go to Jaguars.
No one wants. According to some sources, they don't want to go to Jacksonville because of the GM. So,
which is why I could see why they would look to bring in Leftwich.
Mm-hmm.
Leftwich would bring in make the most sense, being that he's a former player. That would be interesting. Leftwich would be an interesting choice. But I think if I'm Flores, I'm looking at the Vikings. I'm looking at the Bears. I have to wait and see what other jobs are available. Do you wait this out to see who else gets fired? Like if that
you might have to.
If that Giants job comes available, who wants that? Because we're still waiting on that.
I mean, that whole thing is a circus on its own.
Yeah, Pete Carroll. Is Pete Carroll out? Stefanski. I know a lot of people questioning him.
I don't think he's
but we'll have to wait and see, man. I'm looking forward to this.
They just made it to. They literally. Oh my goodness! I'm like, come on, guys.
Obviously, Mike Tomlin lives to see another year, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait.
I still feel like there were just people who just doesn't like Mike Tomlin as a person, who wants him to get fired.
I feel
not so much as his coaching potential.
Yeah.
Because he still hasn't had a losing season.
I feel you. We got national championship Monday. Wow. I was about to say we'll come back here tomorrow for the national championship review.
What kind of podcast he's having right here?
Right. We got Georgia. We got Alabama. Johnny, let's see who you got. Can I do that still? I can't do that, can I?
No.
Dang it.
No, I'll let it slide because, you didn't know. But I'm going with the Bulldogs.
Yikes. I'm not sure, man. This is a tough one.
Again, all they have to do is get to the quarterback.
Sure.
If they can get to Bryce Young and disrupt that offense, they have a chance.
Yeah, they do. I'm going to go. I mean, Alabama, I don't know.
It's hard to bet against Alabama because we know what Alabama can do, especially in these high-profile games. They win.
Yeah. I know for sure that.
But they've been vulnerable.
I know for sure that Georgia's not going to be able to throw, 99 wheel routes, versus this Alabama team.
That's actually pretty fun.
Yeah, that was really upsetting. I was like, how many dang wheel routes are we going to see here?
Oh.
But you know what? I'll go Alabama.
That's fair.
I think this is a great opportunity to see, Alabama, the Heisman. Georgia's defense is stout, but
again, if they can get to Bryce Young,
which I believe they can,
which I think they will. I think they're going to learn from the SEC type game. Which is why I'm going with Georgia.
I'm going to go Alabama just to create cash.
You know what? That's fair.
Yeah. So we'll see tonight. We may live stream. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Let me know. Yeah, we'll see. You might see Doc and Prof. You might hear Doc and Prof live during the game, or we might just sit back and watch it and drink a couple beers. We'll see what happens.
Either way, we're going to probably drink a couple
beers.
Very Make true. Sure you
tune in,
drink responsibly, and don't drive while you're doing that too. That's a PSA from the Bulldogs fans.
Roll damn tide. But Johnny, and now I know that people heard this podcast on their favorite podcast platform. But if they didn't, they can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com to review this episode, as well as all the previous. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we go over this national championship game, as well as the news, the analysis, and the reads.
Hey, Waterboy, you're fired!
Oh, thank you.